All right, good evening, nerds around the world, and welcome to episode 93 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. I'm Paul English. I'm your host tonight, and we have a very special show for you, like always, as well as a terrific panel, beginning with Mr. Colton Hunt. What's going on, sir?
Hey, everyone. I'm happy to be back after missing the last couple of episodes. I'm glad I'm here for a topic that I'm informed on, though, so I can be so that I can actually be used to the episode.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Also joining us is from Geek Salad. It is Mike Hewlett. What's going on, sir?
Paul, I've come to bargain.
As have we all.
That's going to become the new language of the MCU, I promise you.
Oh, that's going to be...
I'm here to bargain.
Cap, I'm here to bargain. All right.
Thunderbolt Ross, I'm here to bargain. And I'm here to kill you.
Well, as you can guess, we are going to be discussing Marvel's Doctor Strange today. I know it's a few weeks after that. We've been kind of busy and haven't had a chance to do it lately, but we're here. We're going to do it. Before I do, just want to quickly bring up last Thursday marked the 2-year anniversary of our very first show. So I want to say happy 2-year anniversary to Nerds Unite as One. It's been a special 2 years. Sorry we didn't do anything special. I couldn't really think of anything to do for that day, but wow, it's cool to think we've been doing this for 2 years. It's pretty nice.
And the crowd goes wild.
And there's much rejoicing in the land. Yay.
I feel like I should have some decent. I feel like I have some alcohol with me to sell it. Like, cheers all over London. There you go. Okay. No. All right.
I have water.
All right. So I got that out of the way. 2 years ago, one. Here's to many more. All right. So let's get on with Doctor Strange. Let's start off with some general thoughts. I'll start off with you, Colton. What'd you think of the movie?
I thought it was all right. I have to admit it's not one of my favorite movies in the MCU. But I liked how they went for a couple of different things compared to the others. You know, how it was about Strange. It was a bit more about Strange himself, as opposed to being about the stuff dealing with Doctor Strange himself was probably one of the more interesting aspects of an origin story, compared to some of the other more, I guess, generic ones we've seen in the past. And they did do a few different things with how the final battle took place, and I thought that let's see what else. I thought that the Ancient One, Tilda Swanton or whatever, she did a pretty decent job. Like Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo. And as far as the villain, I can't remember his name. We'll get into that actually later. that shows how much of an impression he left on me. But overall, a bit average, but still, it still has the usual Marvel heart to it.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
I really liked this one. I guess I liked it a lot more than Colton did. I thought it was a new. I mean, they were expanding out into the new realms of magic for the MCU. I thought they did a great job with it. I loved Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. He gave a lovely, arrogant prick becoming less arrogant, less prickish, but still having elements of those guys in there.
Mystical Tony Stark.
But yeah, I mean, he was a great character, great actor. I mean, the cast in general was just phenomenal for this one. I even really like Mads Mikkelsen as the villain. Caecilius, I think his name was. Yeah, not my favorite villain of the MCU, obviously, but I thought for what the purpose they needed him for, he was great. And yeah, I mean, the visuals were just off the chain stunning in this one. I don't usually recommend people see the 3D movies, 3D versions. I would recommend at least checking this one out at least once in 3D because it was just amazing. But yeah, so those are my overall thoughts.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? I agree with you on that last part, Mike. I hate 3D. I don't see the point in it at all until I saw Doctor Strange. And thank God I saw it in 3D because I would have been missing out. It would have been a far less impressive movie had I not seen it in 3D. And truth be told, that kind of makes me sad because when I go see it, when I buy it, I don't have a 3D TV. I won't be able to see it in 3D, so it's like I'm going to be missing out on it. But yeah, this was hands down Marvel's most visually stunning movie to date, I would argue, and it just looks incredible. Beyond that, though, it is a solid film with good characters, good action sequences. It was an all-around another excellent Marvel movie. It had everything you'd expect from a Marvel movie, and then plus the incredible visuals. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
If it helps, I saw it and I did not see it in 3D, but I still found it to be visually impressive.
Okay, you need to see it in 3D, Colton.
I saw it with my dad.
You need to see it in 3D.
I saw it with my dad, and he doesn't do 3D films, so yeah. So
I don't do 3D either. I hate 3D. See it in 3D.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we got our general thoughts. Let's talk about some positives. And Mike, I'll start with you first. What are some positive things you did like about the movie?
Well, I mean, besides the visuals, which, like I said, they were stunning. I mean, I could watch a loop of those things. I'd probably feel like I was on acid after a couple of hours. But
someone got some LSD in there.
And watch that. Look inside of the walls are bleeding. But yeah, I mean, I thought the visuals are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, like I said, Doctor Strange as Benedict Cumberbatch, he was such a likable character all the way through. At the beginning, you really loved that. You loved him, but you get like, I couldn't sit in the same room with him for more than half an hour without wanting to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
But yeah, towards the end, you're like, yeah, this guy's actually kind of cool. Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo. I think his story arc was. I liked it a lot. I thought it had a very actually satisfying conclusion. I liked where the movie ended with him. Tilda Swinton was fantastic as the Ancient One, and I gotta say the final scene between her and Benedict Cumberbatch, I started feeling my eyes started to water a little bit. It was actually a very touching scene. That surprised me a lot because I didn't think it would go there, something like that. The relationship between Doctor Strange and I forget the character's name, but
Rachel McAdams' character.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, come on, hold on one second.
Christine Palmer.
Thank you. Yeah, Christine Palmer. I thought that they had a wonderful tete-a-tete back and forth, and for like kind of secondary characters, I don't know if this counts, but my vote goes for the Cloak of Levitation. I freaking love that cloak because it for me it felt like I was watching Aladdin and I see the carpet for the first time. That was the Cloak of Levitation. It was the carpet. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of fun. There was a lot of new stuff, new visuals in the scene in this movie, and the actors were just across the board really, really well done. So those are just pretty much my positives for this one. I don't have a whole lot of negatives.
All right. I mean, yeah, the visuals of this film, like I said, they were breathtaking. They really were, especially in 3D. Like that could have been the star of the film. Everything else could have been second. I would have felt like I just got off a ride at an amusement park. That's how amazing they were. But just like any Marvel movie, the characters are still well done. They still, especially the lead, Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange, gave such a tremendous performance. I love, at first I thought I thought the story was progressing a little too fast when he's like not even like 5-10 minutes into the film, he's already in his car crash. I'm like, whoa, that happened kind of fast. But so I thought it was moving kind of fast at first, but looking back, like, wow, that was a very good paced film, and his evolution from this arrogant prick that you want to punch in the face to this great hero, it's well done, and you clearly see it. Even still halfway into the movie, he's still kind of a prick, trying to obtain knowledge that he shouldn't have. Like, I thought his character progression was well done. I thoroughly enjoyed Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. And maybe because I never read any of the comics, maybe because I never really don't know much about Doctor Strange. That's probably why I didn't have a problem with the quote unquote whitewashing. Maybe because that's probably why I'd never seen any of the comics or anything. I don't read comics, people. I'm sorry, but yeah, the heroes were all Mordo, Rachel McAdams' character. They were all very good. I love them all. And yeah, the cloak of levitation. That was such a cool thing to see. Just seeing it hover in the glass. That was so fun. That was so actually kind of cute to see. And yes, Mike, what did you say about that last conversation between Benedict and Tilden? That was very touching. So again, another stellar job with some character growth on the part of the writers, and the action sequences in this film, I think in a large part because of how amazing the visuals are, were just mind-blowing to watch. It was such an experience of a movie. And I don't really think I've had that with that kind of experience watching a Marvel movie. Like, I've had experience like watching The Avengers or Winter Soldier, Civil War. Like, oh my God, that was not a movie, that was an experience. But Doctor Strange, that was a different kind of experience. That was like you were on a roller coaster on acid, essentially. It was such a visual experience. I actually felt like I was tired at the end of this movie. Like, wow, I just took a huge ride, and it was a blast. So yeah, that was a lot of positive in this movie that I have. Colton, what about you?
All right, so one thing I liked about this movie was actually how, even though it could kind of be classified as a sort of an anticlimax in one regard, I actually did like how the final battle took place, how Strange used his smarts, so to speak, as opposed to going for the traditional big, flashy, climactic fight to the death and all that jazz where Dormammu was concerned. And I also liked, like I said, I liked Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I feel like his post-credit scene at the end of the spoilers, obviously, but I felt like
there are spoilers in this review, people.
The post-credit scene at the end of the movie, obviously, was probably one of the most intimidating things we've seen a Marvel baddie actually do. Where he just walks up to that guy, he steals his magic, makes him a cripple again. He's like, "There's too many sorcerers." I'm like, "Wow, that was pretty cool, actually." Probably one of the more ruthless things we've seen, and kind of had left me a little disappointed because that we have to wait till Doctor Strange 2 to see what Mordo can do. But well, it looks like he'll be interesting enough, and I liked how his reasons for going bad are, well, he doesn't like go bad in this movie, but I like how his reasons for turning on Strange, where when it's all said and done, turning his back on him, were different from the comics, where it was because Strange was better than him, so to speak, from what I can remember. And considering how Strange wasn't there for that long, it would have been a little hard to buy Strange outclassing Mordo, I guess you could say. Time will tell what their relationship will be like in the second film. But yeah, I also like Benedict Cumberbatch as Strange. I liked how he went from being this arrogant prick that was on top of the world to a broken shell of a man pretty quickly. And it felt, even though it was pretty fast, seeing him getting into the car accident and everything, I still actually felt for the guy when we saw him, seeing his hands trembling all the time as a result of the accident. And I liked, like I said, I liked how this movie took a slightly different approach to the Marvel franchise, where it wasn't exactly about saving the world. I mean, granted, yeah, they still had to save the day in the end, but there's a bit more to it than that, about Strange finding the cure within himself, among other things. Like I liked how Tilda Swinton's Agent 1 showed him. I liked how first we saw that they did that fake out joke with that one Agent 1 that we thought was going to be the actual Agent 1 because he was Asian. Then they're like, no, it's not that guy. But then I liked how he came back and showed Strange that he was missing an arm, but despite that, he was just as adept at the magic as anyone else, showing that those that are broken can still be fixed, so in some fashion, I guess you could say. And I did like seeing Strange training with them, trying to figure out the ways to utilize his magic, and how even though I think this movie's humor was sometimes it didn't all work, I still enjoyed it nevertheless. Like when the Ancient One left Strange straight into the mountains, and she's like, "Surrender, Stephen," and then she leaves it behind, and then Mordo's like, "Oh great, not again." And then she's like, and then they're like just waiting for Strange to show up, and she's like, and you can tell I'm looking at on her face, she's like, "Oh my gosh, he might not actually make it." And this movie also reminded me of Ant-Man in some ways, in that it was breather film that followed a very big moment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like how Ant-Man followed Age of Ultron. This movie followed Civil War, and it was like Ant-Man, it was the Marvel special effects team's wet dream with all the pretty impressive effects we got. I think they kind of overdid the kaleidoscope effect after a while, but it was still pretty cool whenever we saw it in action. The mirror universe was an interesting twist on things. The way Strange used the Time Stone to reverse time. Yeah, we got another Infinity Stone. I did not see that coming. I did like, however, how this Infinity Stone had more defined properties. Like the Tesseract, just looks like the Tesseract and the Orb and the Ether all seem like pretty much the same exact, in the mind, all seem like pretty much the same exact stones, and I'm still kind of confused as to how the Mind Stone works. So I liked how the Time Stone was pretty much did what it was implied to do, and it was interesting how Strange applied it, trapping Dormammu in that infinity loop until he agreed to back off and leave Earth alone. The cloak of levitation was also an interesting twist on things. Like, I thought it was just going to be Strange would just get a cool cloak after a while. So, while I thought its comedy relief could be a little distracting at times, I thought it was still cool to see what it could do. Like when it actually wiped away some of Strange's tears, and he's like, "Hey, stop that," among other things, and how it managed to get him to use the correct weapon to stop him, Kaecilius, instead of what he wanted to go for. So an interesting little bit of relationship there. And yeah, Mike, what you said, it reminding you of Carpet, I didn't really think of that, but that's a good comparison there. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, actually, however, was towards the very beginning when we see Strange doing his first operation, and they actually managed to make him pulling a bullet out of someone. It was a tiny moment, but they managed to actually make that feel rather tense, I guess you could say. So I like that, and even though Rachel McAdams was only there for a little bit, I thought she did a good job of what she was given. I was kind of left wanting more, though, wishing she could have had more to do in the film rather than just being Strange's sort of love interest. But take what you can get. I'm sure. Take what you can get. I'm sure she'll maybe do more in the next movie. The whole night nurse thing is kind of confusing, considering that there's more than one. And is there one in Daredevil or something like that?
Yeah, well, they in Luke Cage, they made one of the goons made a joke that they called Claire Temple Night Nurse. So I mean, both Claire and Rachel McAdams characters are kind of like versions of the character, I guess.
I don't know.
Sort of, but not really.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. What else? And I did like how some of the spirit. I also like Benedict Wong as Wong. Wish we could have gotten more of it. Wish he could have gotten a bit more in on the action than he did, but still not bad for what he was given. So overall, that's pretty much all my positives, I think. Mads Mikkelsen, he was also all right as Kaecilius, but I have a few negatives to say regarding him, so we'll get to that momentarily.
Oh no, we're getting to it now because it's time to go through negatives. I mean, as far as negatives go for this movie, there aren't a whole lot, but they're kind of what you'd expect. I mean, obviously, Marvel's biggest problem has been their villains, and sadly, Mads Mikkelsen is nothing impressive. Though as far as unimpressive villains go, from unimpressive Marvel villains, he's certainly not the worst one. He definitely did make some kind of impact, although he's nowhere near as good as Loki or Winter Soldier or any of that. But as far as typical villains go, he certainly stood out. I mean, he just kind of how naive he came across sometimes, especially one of my favorite scenes where they're fighting in the Sanctum Sanctorum. You will not stop me, Mr. It's Doctor. Mr. Doctor? It's Strange. Who am I to judge?
Mr.
I mean, that was kind of funny. So as far as generic Marvel villains, he wasn't too bad. He's not the best, but I've seen worse. Thinking about it, while I was impressed with him at first, looking back on it, I'm kind of disappointed with the way Dormammu looked. Not that it was bad, mind you, he looked good, but I was hoping for a more comic accurate interpretation of like this demonic being just covered in flames, just shooting flames, the flames shooting out all over him. Like, you put that in 3D, that would have looked friggin' amazing. I remember I brought that up in the Geeks and Gamers Facebook group, or one of the spoilers, like what I mentioned about Dormammu, and someone said, I think they're trying to make him not look like Ghost Rider, since he's become a big name again with Robbie Reyes and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ghost Rider kind of made a resurgence in popularity. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense, but I'm still, like I said, it wasn't a bad look. He looked good, but I was hoping for like the being inflamed. Like, that would have looked incredible. Yeah, and then Mordo's, descent into being a villain, while it was well done, I have to admit it was kind of an anticlimax for me, because before going to see it, I actually saw the animated movie earlier that day. So I already knew Mordo was going to wind up being a villain. So that was kind of an anticlimax for him. Like, looking back, maybe I shouldn't have seen that animated movie. Maybe it would have been more of a shock to me to see him go bad, but oh well. So, I mean, yeah, the usual flaws of a Marvel movie, not a memorable villain, though he certainly wasn't the worst. Those are really the only negatives I have about it. Colton, I'll come to you next. What were some of your negatives?
My issue with Caseless is that, or however you pronounce his name, my issue is that it was actually implied that he had deeper motivations than most Marvel villains, actually. Like, when Strange trapped him in that, whatever that contraption was, and he goes into a speech about, how he went to the Ancient One and how he felt like the Ancient One really wasn't offering them what she promised. And it looked like he was actually kind of briefly crying, maybe, or close to it. I'm like, I felt like that was something interesting. But after that moment, he never really expresses anything of that depth for the rest of the film. He goes back to being kind of the generic bad guy for our hero to push back against and all that jazz. And while I have nothing against that in theory, I just wish that they could have gone a bit deeper with him, among other things. And I also feel like the pacing regarding his evil plan was a little off. Like I said, this movie wasn't really about Strange saving the world. He wasn't recruited by the Ancient One to do that. She just recruited him to be one of her students. So when Strange was just going through another one of his lessons, and then Caseless then suddenly shows up at another sanctum, and they're like, "Holy crap!" And then he attacks it. I'm like, the plot just almost took us. It felt like the plot started rushing, I guess you could say, because then suddenly Strange was now involved in the whole saving the day scheme, and it felt like we were suddenly in a totally different film, I guess you could say. Because then he gets his iconic cape, and then he takes the time stone with him, and then it's off to be the hero. And I have nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I liked how things turned out in the end, because it wasn't as cliched as it was in other Marvel movies. Like the "I've come to bargain" scene. I just wish they had executed aspects of the second and third acts a little bit better, because I did enjoy the first act more when it was just Strange trying to learn about the different types of magics and all that, trying to heal himself in whatever way he could. And that's another issue I kind of had. It wasn't exactly clear what Strange was getting out of this at first, because it was suggested that he could actually legitimately heal his hands, and not as opposed to healing himself in a metaphorical sense. But because Strange didn't exactly voice his opinions regarding the magics, it wasn't clear to me, at least, where we were going with this at first. And so we had that final scene with the Ancient One, where he finds out that there was a way for him to legitimately heal himself. Also, I have to say, the fact that the Ancient One actually, again, spoiler alert, obviously, but the fact that the Ancient One actually bites it in this movie and stays dead, I did not see that coming. It's like, I guess maybe Marvel's going to start killing people off for good now, which I'm not looking forward to, but you never know. And like I said, regarding Mordo, while I liked his descent into villainy was more out of a matter of was more because of his beliefs as opposed to pettiness or anything like that. I also said it felt like it was we were just being teased for a better film when he regarding him because he's obviously a better bad guy than Mads Mikkelsen, and I wouldn't have much of a problem with this, except for the fact that Infinity War is coming up. So I'm not really all that excited for Doctor Strange 2 right now, because obviously we're not meant to really be because we're not gonna see it until after Infinity War and all that. So I mean, we have to wait that long to see what Mordo's gonna do. I don't know. That's one issue about the MCU is the pacing of some of its story arcs, but I'm still a big fan of it all in the grand scheme of things. I know I'm rambling, so I'll wrap this up. Let's see, what else did I have an issue with? And also, while I liked Christine Palmer, there wasn't enough done with her to kind of justify her presence in the film, except for the fact that I guess her character, other than the fact that her character exists in the comic book universe and all that jazz. So, I mean, there have been worse love interests, but I guess I could have just done a better job with her. But those are my overall negative thoughts on Doctor Strange. Like I said, I don't hate the movie. I just feel like I'm just very mixed on it, you know.
Okay, Mike, what about you?
It's Caecilius.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Caecilius, I gotta remember that.
Yeah, I actually I kind of got a mirror you, Paul. I was not a huge fan of the way Dormammu looked. I know this is, I mean, it wasn't nearly as bad, but after seeing it and reflecting back on it, he kind of looked a little bit like the head in the giant poo cloud from Green Lantern.
That's right. That's a common gag that Doctor Strange was Marvel's Green Lantern.
Except it was way better.
Of course, it was way better. Anything's better than Green Lantern.
Batman and Robin is not.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sorry, Mike. Continue.
Yeah, I like Caecilius a lot. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not the standout of the Marvel villains, but he's also he's no Malekith.
No, God, no, not even close.
No, I put him a little bit above average. I liked him more than some of the other villains around. But yeah, I mean, one thing that is cool about Dormammu is apparently the motion capture for that head and at least part of the voice was done by Benedict Cumberbatch himself.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, they kind of made that.
Well, Benedict Cumberbatch was killing himself multiple times.
Yeah, I guess I read this. Scott Derrickson actually wanted that one. Kind of did that on purpose because since Dormammu doesn't really have a physical form in the dark dimension, he was kind of acting as like a kind of a warped mirror image of Doctor Strange himself. Which, so that kind of gives me hope that if maybe Dormammu does manage to get into our dimension sometimes, he will have a more comic book accurate portrayal. Maybe not. I mean, I don't think the images I've seen doesn't have him flames all over the place. It's just his head, but his head is like just a circle with flames coming off of it. Maybe they could just do like kind of like a weird energy that's kind of like pulsing off of him. Just something to differentiate himself from Ghost Rider. But I do want something more comic accurate. I don't want to see a big poo cloud again.
Yeah. No one does.
Yeah, no. I think everyone realized that was a bad move.
Fantastic.
They should have realized it was a bad move with fucking Galactus in Fantastic Four 2, but apparently Green Lantern didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
Like, we can do it better. No, you can't.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I really don't have a hell of a lot of issues with this one. I really don't have anything. I liked the majority of the supporting characters. I even like that doctor that Strange kind of like took the patient away from at the beginning. Because I think, like, afterwards when
That's-
Strange kind of had to rely on him, he was like, "You do it. You're actually you can do this." I kind of like that. So yeah, other than I think Caecilius not being the best villain around, it's still not bad. And I'm not a big fan of the Dormammu look. I really enjoyed this. I knew that they were going to have an Infinity Gem in this one because it just makes sense. But my money was completely on the Soul Gem. I didn't think that they were going to go for the Time Gem. I thought they were going to save that for like Infinity War. But having the Soul Gem, having the Time Gem, that was kind of cool twist. I didn't expect that one.
I'm surprised they didn't use well, actually, they used reality, and reality is the ether, so they can't use it. But
Yeah,
it would make more sense for it would make more sense for the ether to pop up in this movie rather than time, because this movie was all about reality and all that jazz.
so that makes me wonder how the hell they're going to bring in the Soul Gem. Because
I've heard rumors that the Soul Gem might be in Thor 3. Like I've heard some people say, I've heard some people claim that Heimdall has it, but those are just rumors.
Hell, maybe Odin has it.
Maybe.
Speaking of Odin, let's briefly bring up the mid-credit scene where we see Doctor Strange talking to Thor in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
I like that scene a lot.
It was a very good scene, but it also raised a very interesting question, which is, where the hell is Odin? And what happened to cause Thor and Loki to work together? Because that's what they seem to be getting out of that mid-credit scene, that Thor and Loki are working together to try to find Odin, and that he's somewhere on Earth. It's like, whoa, what happened?
Well, I mean, Loki has never been. Loki has, ever since you first see him in Thor, he's always craved Odin's approval. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. So, like, obviously at the end of Thor 2, he's taken Odin's place. So he probably had Odin like either locked away or hidden away somewhere. What if Odin somehow escapes and like vanishes, and Loki's like, oh,
I don't know where he is.
oh shit. Hey Thor, yeah, I'm Odin. Guess what? I'm not actually Odin. I'm your brother, and Dad's kind of gone AWOL. So can you help me find him, please?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe his dad was locked up in the collector's collection or something like that.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh, that would be very interesting. Although, wait a minute, wasn't his collection destroyed?
Yeah,
well,
yeah. How he got away.
Well, yeah, I mean, Howard the Duck survived, so I think Odin would have a chance.
Why are you letting him look your face like that? Gross.
I'm kind of hoping they do something with Howard the Duck. I don't know what. Just do something with him. You put that Easter egg in there. Do something with it, okay? I don't know.
Hey, as long as they keep Seth Green as the voice, I'm cool with that, because Seth Green did a great Howard the Duck voice.
And keep Tim Robbins away from it.
What?
Yeah.
No, wacky, wacky, wacky. No, please, no. I've never even seen that movie. That scene would annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah, just no Leah Thompson, please.
And no duck tits. Woo!
No duck sex. Oh, yeah, good reaction right there.
But I would take a DuckTales. Woo!
Life is like a hurricane.
Okay, enough. Colton, stop it, or I'm gonna play the Pokemon theme. I'll shove it in your head, okay? I've already got that theme stuck in my damn head. I don't need the DuckTales theme in here.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Right.
Gotta catch 'em
Gonna
all.
be
No!
Pokemon!
no one ever was.
Well, anyway, before
Fuck the both of you. No. Let's watch Colton. What's he gonna do?
I have no idea. Oh, is that a gun he's got? That's his
That's
Nerf
a Nerf
gun.
gun. Yeah, that's a strong arm, I believe.
It's like the cricket from Men in Black. It's small, but it's got power.
I don't know. It has a spy gun. I got this. Don't you try nothing. The real deal right here. Don't think good. Don't try it.
Or better yet, there can be only one.
All right. Well, we move on from that. Mike, do you have a favorite scene in this movie? Let's get back to Doctor Strange. Do you have a favorite scene in this movie?
Favorite scene? I mean, just for the pure emotional impact of the scene, the final discussion between Tilda Swinton and Benedict Cumberbatch on that balcony. That conversation was it was beautiful. I mean, and to have two powerhouses of actors of that caliber do that scene, it lent it such gravitas and emotional weight. I thought it was a fantastic scene. But also the Doctor Strange's first travel through like the multiple realms, like when the Ancient One just nails him there.
The portal.
Yeah, and like his hands each finger started growing more hands and then more fingers. That whole scene was just a whacked out trip job, but it was just so beautifully done. I couldn't turn my eyes away from it.
I'm surprised he didn't enter the quantum realm at any point. At any point of that dimension hopping or the subatomic realm from him.
How do we know he didn't?
Well, good point.
I think some of my favorite scenes, they gotta be like the fights in New York City, just seeing New York just twist and turn and bend. It's like, oh my goodness gracious, I am on a roller coaster. No. I'm in like a roller coaster inside of a non-haunted house. I don't know. I can't describe it. It's like the coolest amusement park ride ever. It's the coolest amusement park ride ever. It felt like that. So just seeing New York twist and turn, it was incredible to watch. Eye candy for sure. Visual eye candy.
Actually, I just remembered this one line that Benedict Cumberbatch says, like, when I became a doctor, I swore an oath to never take a life. And now you guys have made me take a life. I mean, that one element, like the fact that he is Doctor Strange, that added a whole nother weight to that final scene with Dormammu. It was like he's found a way to defeat Dormammu where he doesn't have to throw a single punch. He defeated Caecilius, all the zealots, and Dormammu without having to do a single violent thing.
I didn't think of that. That's a very good point, Mike. Very good.
Like I said, I liked it for how they took a different approach to their action scenes as opposed to the tried and true method of beating the crap out of one another, like we see with Captain America and all that. And like I also liked how when they got to I actually liked the whole reverse time fight thing at the very end where they show up and they're already too late to stop the Sanctum from being destroyed. So Strange instead rewinds time and we see everything going backwards, but they're still somehow fighting at the same time. That was pretty kind of creative, I thought, among other things. I say that a lot.
All right.
There was one thing I was kind of disappointed in, though. It was I grew up with my first exposure to Doctor Strange was in Spider-Man the animated series, and we got to hear like Strange like uttering all the spells in a very convoluted manner. So I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get that in this movie also. In fact, all their magic was kind of non-verbal, and at times I wasn't even sure if this was magic. Like they said that they like the Ancient One kind of was a bit iffy on it, saying there could be different ways of interpreting it all, and they also kind of referred to it as energy from other dimensions. So I was a little lost as to whether or not this was real magic, but it's okay though for the most part.
I was kind of hoping that we would hear by the hoary hosts of Ostrogoth sometime in this movie, but maybe they're saving that for the sequel.
I thought it was by the hoary host of Hoggoth or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Before I forget, one other thing I really liked, one thing I also liked in the movie was that Strange at the end, we see him looking at his broken watch, and I like that sort of symbolized that Strange wasn't completely fixed yet. He still has a long way to go. That's a nice touch of symbolism there, I thought.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. I think we've gone over everything that we should. So that is going to conclude our discussion on Doctor Strange. Thank you all very much for being here. Colton, pleasure having you here.
Happy to be here.
And I'll tell you this, you are catching up with Chris pretty quickly in terms of quality of rants whenever I mute you. So keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you. And also, all of our viewers out there, if you're behind on this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., make sure you catch up, because Ghost Rider, one of the best things to ever happen to it.
Indeed, I've been loving it. Mike, my friend, it was a pleasure having you here.
Hey, always great to be here as usual. And yes, there can be only one. Sorry, wrong movie. Never mind.
All right.
We'll get to that at some point, probably.
But not next week. Next week, guys, we are going to be going in a bit of a different direction in terms of our episode. We are going to be actually having it's going to be a somewhat more serious episode than what we're used to. We are going to be discussing, how do I put this? The inclusions of minority groups into comic book properties such as movies and television shows. We'll be discussing the impact on them, how we feel about them, are we getting them too fast, all this stuff. And we'll also be discussing the identity swaps that seem to be going on quite often in these properties. So, like I said, it's going to be a somewhat more different show. It's a little more serious, but we hope you will tune into it. I think it's going to be a very, very good show. So hopefully you will tune in next week to see it. It's going to be on Sunday, and we'll try to get some good people here on as we always do. So we will see you next week. Until then, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.